Niambie.
Kuna couple hapa social media imefanya sisi wambea tukae ni kama sisi ni waongo.
Julius Owino.
I'm still Juliani.
Moved on and got married to, what's her name?
Lillian, yes.
Squeezy Lillian amemwambia wacha kuningangania.
Has it affected your romantic relationships?
Once you put attention, energy, and meaning, it becomes an altar. It becomes a worship. Because we are putting those three things in everything we come across. If it's nothing, then you get to experience its fullness.
Hey, sasa sisi wambea tunaanza kukaa ni kama tunadanganya.
Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
Si ukabila.
Ufisadi.
Ubinafsi, ufisa. Hapana.
Ufisadi, ubinafsi, ukabila.
Wanapaka Christian Dior. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite jams, by the way.
Then, wewe unaishi yesterday kwanza.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Living Truthfully, the podcast. And there's no better way to start than the guest that we have today. I have known this guy for maybe the last, I want to say, maybe 15 years or so. He went on to become not just an incredibly successful musician, but he's become the social commentator of our time. I'm honored to call him my friend. He's an incredible thinker. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Juliani. Yay! Yay!
I need to use your word, social commentator.
Mkurugenzi, but that's exactly who you are.
She'll use that.
You are the social commentator of our time. Baby bro.
Fisherman.
You know,
The good stuff.
The truth is, we've been having conversation for the last 2 hours.
Yes.
Before we started recording. And my mind is already so provoked. And which is true of every conversation we have. I think there's always this banter that we provoke each other's thoughts. But I've called you a social commentator. What do you call yourself?
Nothing. So look at me. I don't call myself anything. Because the only thing I have is a skill. So I have the ability to collect, download, collect, or observe, convert it into a song, words, or thought.
Okay.
So that's the skill I have. And nilikuwa na try use mini musician as an identity, mini rapper. No, I have the ability to observe things around me and collect it, package it, and disperse it. I can disperse it as a song, I can disperse it as a concept, I can disperse it as a thought, I'm a way of thinking, I'm a tweet. And that's how I see it. Yeah, so I don't define myself with a skill. Who I am, bado sijui, I'm consistently trying to realize myself based on what God calls me, because I've realized even time venye nilikuwa najiambia kitambo who I am. I like what you said about evolving. So see stagnant. Ni river in a flow.
Ulisema mwanaume ni river.
No get bank.
You get bank lazima. Chatuachie hapo. Juliani, you've been one of the things that I have found very true about you. Ni vile umejiamini. I've not met many people who think the world of themselves. And I don't think you're not arrogant. Sometimes you come across as a little, but it's not. That's not. You're just very sure-footed, very sure of yourself. Where does it come from?
It's engineered, though.
Na nitapatia na example, lakini it's engineered.
It's engineered because notice if I think about life young, I always feel out of place. Kitambo nikiwa young, I always felt like this. Since you know something that I don't know, you're ahead. Since you are well placed than me, you are ahead. And then ukakaa na watu even realize, Buddha, uko ahead in one way but doesn't mean in all the ways.
Yes.
So inamaanisha now tukiwa kwa table pia version yangu pia ina matter. It might not be right, it might be wrong, but version yangu kwa table ina matter because I've had a totally different experience as a human being and I can't downplay my experiences.
And that's very important. And you keep saying this, that every human experience is valuable. You can't downplay your own experience. Kwa sababu hujalelewa Kileleshwa ama hujalelewa Lavington doesn't mean that malezi yako yalikuwa under par. So the reason I'm saying this guy is very sure-footed. But one of the times I experienced this was Juliani and I went to Safaricom many years ago. And I think we were looking for sponsorship. We were trying to do an event. I had a relationship with someone in Safaricom at the time. That's before Juliani even had like the ultimate relationship in Safaricom, which we'll talk about in a bit. Tukatoka yo meeting, tukaenda Java ABC. And when we got to Java ABC, Juliani asked for chapati madondo. And of course, Java does not serve chapati madondo.
Then
tukaitisha the closest thing, which was a burrito.
Ilikuwa kasadia ama?
Ilikuwa kasadia ama ilikuwa burrito. I think ilikuwa burrito.
Burrito actually, yeah, it comes
the Mexican refried beans.
Burrito actually.
Lakini first, najua umse si fala. So uisi mara ya kwanza umse anaingia Java. So mbona umse ametisha chapati madondo?
Because now I realize that I can't. But kitambo ulikuwa unaingia Java ama unaingia kwa ofisi. Una feel out of place. Una feel too out of place. The day nikarealize nilikuwa tuna perception ili change about spaces and how I'm supposed to need 9 inamaanisha juu haiko kwa menu doesn't mean haiko. Unaona, maybe wanaweza fix vitu pamoja huko
wakupatia chapati madondo.
Wakupatia and if you think about it, even life, so I don't know how to explain it. Life yangu yote as a young person nilikuwa na a version of what I think things should be.
What should be on the menu?
But mimi niko settled for language in a describe to what's around there. A way of thinking in a settle to around there. So mimi niko like I was so uncomfortable with settling to what I'm being given, the words, the tools. So in any space I'm always trying to push what else, even if I go kwa menu, what else can we get off this? What else can I get off life? Just because I'm not can we go and pitch $1 billion tuingie tu ofisi tuanze kupitch $1 billion? Why do I have to always pitch $1 million? Why do I think a solution yangu
is worth only $1 million?
It's only worth $1 million. So na hiyo tag of war iko kwa brain yangu always. Unaona? So I'm not saying that I just feel like there's more to it. And why should I settle for what I'm being offered kwa table? Unaona? So tu ndio easy ingredients, zile ingredients zile come up na hii, maybe zinaweza create something else. So ingredient ili create burritos, in the same ingredient you create chapo na maragwe, si ndio?
Ni kweli.
Ni supu tu maybe unaongeza na hii nyingine unaifungua inakaa hivi.
Basi inakuwa chapo.
Exactly, unaona?
So lazima kunjwe.
So the ingredients the same way na lyrics. The same words as ziko kwa A B C D E F G mpaka X, ndio. So the way I write lyrics is very different from L. So it's the same lyrics I have the same words kwa
the same combination of letters,
and then I can create a new way of thinking. So that's why if you look at my lyrics and I brag about this, about titles of songs zangu nobody has, where I position my lyrics nobody has. The way I write my lyrics, nobody can. The way I title my album, nobody can. The way I perform, nobody can. Because I can take the same thing that you've been presented and create something totally different. You know.
Juliani actually he asked me that day, uliniuliza mbona hii Java isikuwe na menu ya Juliani? Yani isikuwe na menu yangu tuite Juliani. The audacity.
I've done that even ilikuwa nyama mama wa nini. Niliwaambia eka menu yetu kama Juliani. And then tukakuwa na menu yacha. Twice in different restaurants. Kaambia ilikuwa inaitwa kama ya Juliani. So ukiingia kwa restaurant unasema kama ya Juliani.
Kama ya Juliani. I think the question I want to ask you as a follow-up to that is, ni wapi umejipata as a result of this attitude of believing in yourself that you never thought you could be? Where is it that you actually were surprised that you found yourself there?
But again, and so when you're traveling, ndio come up hivi, you depend on either Google Map, ama kama ni mgeni, you depend on landmarks. Sindio? So kilos tuta either urudi pale ulianza, ama useme, ni karibu na ile ghorofa inakaa hivi. No. So for me, it was people and experiences that the way I wrote first my lyrics, when Msali react to it became a landmark that actually my writing is unique. And then maybe nikikumit, alafu tiseme, Juliani, ile line ufanye misema. So it informs me that actually the way I did things is unique. So those are landmarks. So individuals that I met along the way, I affirmed that actually my thinking was unique, my thought process was unique. So by the time ungele kuhusu Bob, ungele kuhusu experience yangu na wewe na bro zako, watu totally I never knew existed in my lifetime. Wanakama naniambia venye I've never seen life like this. So uchizi yangu iko validated. So and everything I try to do nowadays, how I do, from concerts to nini, what I do, I post kwanza. Si do poster, I don't do what I post to. I laugh as long as I can get watu 10 wanafikiria kama mimi, then I go ahead and do it.
So, someone actually said you can, that's in today's world, that's a great way to test a theory.
Yes.
You find a way of creating the dummy version of it online and see if it has, interest. Na ukipata hao watu 10, unaona it is viable, you can go ahead and do it. You have been umebrush shoulders na watu wakubwa. Na ni vile umemention Bob, and we'll talk about it in a second, but even before tuongee about Bob, Julian invited me, ulinipigia simu siku moja. Kaniambia, Amani, niko na listening party na nataka UMC. Unakumbuka ilikuwa Lavi? Mali Abi alikuwa na stay.
Kwa Abi,
kwa Abi alikuwa na stay. Alafu outside we did I can't remember what album it was for. Anyway, so mimi nikakam. Sababu Juliani ni best, ameniambia ni MC listening party. I've never MC'd for a listening party before. Hata sijui tunafanya nini, lakini mimi nitakam. I met Jim Nambaru at that listening party. He was one of your guests. Mulitoana wapi na mtu kawa? And there's a reason I'm asking this. Kwa sababu vile tuko nasema earlier, from Boy Javelin to Boy Java. Boy Javelin alizaje kubrush shoulders na wasi?
Yeah, so I actually niko najiuliza hiyo swali sana because I can't pinpoint one specific thing I said or did that attracted those people close to me. But the only thing that I know for a fact is that I was always myself. Na naza kamna jasho ndakwa tu ule na kamna manukato bado mimi ule una get. So I'm always authentically myself. And authentic myself doesn't mean that I'm not considerate, I'm not aware of my surrounding. The only difference is I know at every particular moment I'm contributing. Unaona? Okay, so I'm contributing at every particular moment. So I won't shy away from my thoughts. Ataka ni intrusive aje. But it's evident also in how I do my music, how I think, and that attracts people too. So even I was saying opportunities unifuata more than I go for them.
You chase them.
Because you in that space frequency, and then it brings me. So I can't pinpoint that this is me. I just know that mse fulani nilijisikia kumpigia simu, probably nikampigia simu. Ama nishaipata naye nikaongea, akaniambia like we nakujua kijana, unafanyaga nini? Next time nikamtumia email. Unaona? So it's Bob, I met him random kwa event, akasema I really like how you're really different. Next time tumeinvite you kwake, next time I'm one of the best friend even. So but the fact is be sure that I'm always myself. I'm always
the original version of Juliani.
At that particular moment.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
So what was interesting for me was that you allowed me, and in this way you've been a destiny helper. So I emceed for this event, and so whereas I was coming to do something for you, what it became was a platform to showcase my skill. Okay? So, I think I mentioned to you, but I've never really told you how this worked out. So that day, Jimna gave me his book, a copy of his book.
Alikuwa anapenda kupeana sana.
Alikuwa anapenda kupeana. Hiyo kitabu ni ngumu kusoma, bro. Nataka mtu wa economics, mazi. Lakini, we started a relationship. And that relationship became a 3-year mentorship relationship with him. And it was a life-changing opportunity for me. Even though I got to do some work for him, but because I had access to his mind. I had access to his way of thinking. And for those that don't know him, this is a man who has created the stock market for what we know it today. He spent 20 years transforming, our financial systems. And so, for me, that was an opportunity I would maybe ningepata vingine, lakini uli create platform that.
But even if, because I intentional to create.
It was not, no, it was not.
It wasn't that, what to create platform to. But kenye muambia seni, you have to honor yourself for you to come, you honored yourself. Ulijiona. Kujiona na kujihona.
I like it. Lyric.
You honored yourself.
You have to see yourself, but also honor yourself. Like ujipatie heshima.
Yeah, because the trickiest thing about human being, especially to survival mode, is that we always want to predict the outcome. So, mimi nitaenda hapa because I get 20 bob. You just don't want to honor yourself. I feel like going, let me just go to niende event ya Juliana ameni-invite, hakuna do, si ati atanilipa, ameni-invite, na si is my fan. So you honored yourself with your skill, ukai-present. And in that position, something was created out of it. So if we always do things based on the expected outcome and strategy and survival thinking, we'll never get anywhere. So for me, that's why I always honor myself. If I feel like doing something, I do it. I don't need to think about the economics. I don't think about who's going to come out of it, who's going to come, who's not going to come. And even by the time we invite akina Jimna, haikuwa ati sababu atakam. To sababu, mimi na feel kukuinvite, nda kuinvite, ujisikie kukam, sawa. But in that process, watu wengi wana gain from your process. So it has nothing, because we always think design is based on our own good. And our own good has to be communal, and somehow it lazima benefit kila mtu. One or the other, tupende tusipende. So design and how God designs things is totally outside frame ya human beings and how we were trying to control things for ourselves. No.
Allow me to speak about your relationship with Bob, just for a bit. You used to call him Jongo Man. I had the opportunity of meeting Bob a few times, and he was good friends with my younger brother as well. And you've said this on your socials. You've said he was grounded but drawn towards the unconventional. We were stalking your socials, and he said when Bob was alive, we had this WhatsApp group he called Crazies. Interesting people he was close to. Come by, we had annual hangouts. One thing about Jongo Man, he was grounded but drawn towards the unconventional. My question is twofold. One is, what did that relationship do for you? Okay. And the other question is, from that grounded but drawn towards the unconventional, how do you think we can learn from something like that and live? Like what can we borrow from Bob?
So let me just give you an example. Bob is the kind of guy and can be, hey bro, ni aje nurushe $500,000 hapo. Akasema kama ofisi. Anaandika check. PA wake anaandika check anakupatia. Ama ni aje niko na sunirushe so mbili hapo. Anakutumia kwa M-Pesa, ananitumia inakataa kuenda. Nakumbuka hiyo one of those days akaniambia, hey bro, una pesa nyingi aje kwa simu mpaka hii so mbili yangu haifiki. Akasema nilikuwa na 20 bob. And the reason I'm mentioning the amount of money and I'm mentioning that is because when there is when kuna relationship, kuna safety, na kuna security, kuna sense of security where you are not ever wrong. And I get, hata unaweza sema ufala na bado you're not wrong. That's how relationships are. So mimi tuko na tusiana, mimi mwenyewe hata si ati nilikuwa namtumia $500,000 but nilikuwa namtumia jongo moja every time nilikuwa namtumia shilingi moja tu ndio nimwambie ni jongo man. Namtumia one bob msema bure jisu check M-Pesa yako kuna kakitu ndakusha hapo. Hope itakusort leo maybe. Sijui kwa aji leo maybe. Maybe ni moja ni katikati ya mwezi so maybe huko poa. Namtumia shilingi kamoja hapo. And then we laugh about it. But I felt secure in myself. Tuko tunaenda sometimes nimemeet na bro ni aje niko wayaki we huko. Alafu mmoja time unaingia tu hata sikuwa natumia security wananijua naingia anampata kwa boardroom ananikaa tunakaa hapo natoa idea zangu mbaya zinakuwa cancelled. Unaona like I was so safe. And that's how relationships are. So that's what I learned from Bob. Like I was safe. I felt safe. I was never wrong. Ugeto yangu ilikuwa appreciated. Njaa yangu ilikuwa appreciated. Brilliance yangu ilikuwa appreciated. Like I was in Bob's eyes, I was the most brilliant person he never met. At least that's how it made me feel.
And that's true because, so I'll tell you a story. I met him at Yaya Center, at the parking lot, him and his wife. And you'd expect that Bob is dropped at the entrance mali ataingia, lakini alikuwa kwa parking lot basement. And I was parking. Sijui kama nakumbuka ile gari yangu ya green ile Prado. So I was parking, nilikuwa na reverse park. Akaniambia, Amani, I bet you won't do it in one move. Buda. Kigonyi maze. Ajui maze nilikuwa napiga squad sapo. Mimi kigonyi maze. So nikaingiza gari. Kaniambia, no one likes a show off. Bro, that day I walked tall, First, he remembered my name. We'd met maybe 3-4 times before. I didn't think he'd remember my name, but he remembered my name. Secondly, we'd had a very human interaction because he stood there and waited for me to park. And then he said, nobody likes a show off.
And that was him.
And that was him, you know? And I wanted to say, I felt seen.
Yep.
Okay? And I'm using that because of what you've said about in your eyes, in how you felt in his eyes, is that you are the most brilliant, you are the most funny, you are
the most important person
in that room. And you've said it made you feel safe and secure. And so I want to come to relationships now and ask, do you feel like that at home? In your relationships, do you feel safe and secure?
I don't because I don't derive it from people now. Okay. My safety and security is within. Because another wacha nipate example kabla tuingie. So there's a time tulikuwa Wambo kids walikuwa wako na play National Theatre. So baba kanambia so show up ni aje pull up nika pull up. And then so wasa wanatoka security yake kila kitu na mtu anatoka hiyo time akona on Sunday so akona security moja wawili. So nikamwambia ni aje buda mimi nitafika home mbele ya place akona stay. Nikasema na nikasema so I had a convertible like a small Toyota convertible 2-seater. Nikamwambia fanya hivi wacha nikusaidie na hii gari ndio ufike faster maybe ndio nikachukua nini yake inaitwa Range Rover yake nikamwambia kwanza hiyo ndio ainangata wewe bado na mbele
he
took my 2-seater I took his Range Rover.
No way.
Tukapatana mbele.
Ilikuwa mnangata.
Mimi najua tu tulifika. Sikali increase. Unaona, and that's, he was so
Such a good relationship.
It was so human.
Yeah.
It was so human that I can be, unaona. So anyway, so but your safety iko within all of us. The only difference is that kuna tutu fulani wanaitoa. Unaona. So there's a guy who said all of us will always want we want unconditional love. And unconditional love just means I see you. Simple. It has nothing to do with I think you can be better like this. I think you can work hard as a human being and become the better version of you. Nobody cares. If I feel seen, I'll sort myself out. So and even the best example I can tell you was when we were setting up our Hip Hop City project. And so I created this theory of change. And the theory of change was give people responsibility and tools. Waache. They will feel seen. They will feel trusted. They will feel. Nikamwambia say trust is not given. It's not earned. It's given. Unaona.
I agree.
So kwa any form of relationship, kwangu ni hivyo. So if I'm extending that to you, iwe hivyo. And pia vice versa if it's extended. But if it's not even extended, I already created this grace for myself within, so that niko self-contained in a way. Because me, I derive it somewhere else. I derive it. If I find it outside, well and good. But I derive it from Christ and God and vituka hizo naona. So I'm creating space for myself that I feel so safe in any state of mind at any particular time.
Talking of Hip Hop City, how have you dealt with the loss of Hip Hop City?
Nilirealize juzi kumbe sikuwa nimedeal nayo. Ilini hit. Nilikuwa nimekaa hivi na alafu I saw some pictures. Ikani hit. Ilini hit random. I even posted it. Ilini hit sana, like it's because we got the building was there's a steel company. Dandora initially was known for two things. Ilikuwa ni walikuwa wana growisha hizi sisal the nini and then pia walikuwa ilikuwa a big farm ya sisal actually. It was owned by a couple named Dan and Dora, so ikakuwa Dandora, a white couple. And then there was a steel company. Ilikuwa hii side ingine ya Sivo, a blue, there's a big so I wanted to buy that steel whatever. It's a really big warehouse. You could see it visibly wherever you are looking at it. And I really, really wanted to buy that place. But in Kambo, ilikuwa ni Wahindi, Story Mob. So anyway, na pia ilikuwa Do Mob. So we went up and bought whatever. And that's one of the instances niliambia Bob, ni alisunushe nusu mita hapa nifanye hiki kitu, and then akanirushia. A few friends wakanirushia, some kishuru wakanirushia. Tulika na some 24 hours tukisumbua sewa tupatie do. No, tunapiga watu simu. And then we got the building through the 1% club. So when we got the building and then now starting to build and telling people that this is what we're trying to build as far as a space for change. But the unfortunate thing is that wasoro kuna dhani space for change ni NGO. Na ni Juliana imekam kutupatia do. That's how they knew it. But over time, you start seeing people morphing into themselves. That ilifika point, nilikuwa nikiingia di, nilikuwa kwa dump site. So nikiingia di ilikuwa, by the time nimeshuka ndai huko nimekam, nilikuwa lazima niko na 50 bob nipatiana along the way. By the time I came the 10th time, nobody asked for money. And by the time we were now entrenched in this community, people offered to help. People literally offered to help, even gave you a better way of doing things. So that's what it means to trust is given, it's not earned. And if you give people responsibility, then so by the time Ivunjwe and those guys say that you go within the Orange Riparian land, which was a lie because they came 2 weeks before and then told us it was how, and then they gave us another 24 hours the last time and then your church ilikuwa next, which was way closer to the river, mpaka saa ina stand. Unaona, so hizo factors mob zili and then I had all these big dreams changing the perspective of what Dandora is, and and ukiingia Dandora tuweke ka billboard big inasema welcome to Dandora, the hip hop city, unaona, and then unaingia, and then the only thing by the time uingie mpaka uingie huko unasikia tu hip hop is local kila pahali. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa ndoto yangu, because once people start owning things, they start seeing themselves like that, and then so story ndefu how I saw it. So by the time you break it down, yani ilini at first nilikuwa najidai mimi ni strong sana, but yatapita. And then it can hit that building bro imevunjwa, a 3-story building.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, ilikuwa normal. And then we had 5,000 people coming in a year, annually, in and out through different programs.
Wow.
We had music studio, we had space for chiefs who are going to meet, women group were meeting there every week. When people wanted to do stuff in the community, that's what the spot they used.
Has the dream died of Dandora as a hip hop city?
No, it doesn't. It hasn't died. I just felt deflated. I felt deflated over time.
So how do you deal with loss? How do you process loss?
Kusema kweli sijui, when, for example, when Bob died, or when it happened. But I think it boils down to what we were talking earlier about permanency. What you're saying about your perception about permanency and how life, everything, there's no permanent. There's just evolving to different things or different. So maybe that's how I try to convince myself that there's no permanency. For transition to happen, something has to happen. So that's how I make sense out of all this.
I'm currently, in this moment, I'm experiencing some sadness. And I think sadness on your behalf, but also the idea of what you could do with rebranding Dandora. And creating that, because it really is, it's a bedrock of, and we were talking about Kalamashaka earlier, we were talking about your career, your coming up from, before we knew who Juliani was. We all resonated with the vibe of Dandora as a hip-hop city.
Yes.
In the late 90s, in the early 2000s, like there was a vibe that was happening then.
It was a mecca of East African hip-hop music.
It was.
I dare even say Africa.
It really was.
I dare say Africa, it's the mecca of.
And I really hope, bro, you don't let that dream die.
Yeah.
I hear the loss, and that's why I'm experiencing the sadness. And I'm here saying, let me hold space and say, this shared dream, this dream that you shared with Sam, with the people that helped you put this together, that I'm now jumping on it and saying, don't let it die.
I think since una dig deep kidogo, so I was thinking about, your theory yangu ya change.
Give people responsibility and give them the tools.
But before you do that, you have to show them before. So I remember when nilikuwa mtoi, moja mimi nilgrow, hiyo Dandora nilikuwa mtoi literally. So when Kalamashaka was up, I started when I was in Form 2. So I was a kid.
Yeah.
And usually when I was going for a gig, I have a gig for Feb 23rd, God willing, up Macmillan.
Okay.
And then I met a random lady hapo nje. So she kept saying, hey, unajua, we need to all come together and shout about how this place has been ignored, and I see poa, kuna vitu zinaharibika, na hiyo ni Macmillan.
The library.
Nikamwambia, actually, we can say, oh, this place is bad, or we can say, let's create as many activities as possible in this space, because the more you use a space, the more you improve on it.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what happened in Dandora. When wasako kutoka all over the world on a kambi, and then where as a young, impressionable young person, unaona hapo, unaona nguo mpya, unaona warembo na sura unakaa warembo different from your local, wala umezoea rangi tofauti, wananukia different. It sparks an imagination in your mind that is you can't fathom. When you create new energy, when you bring activity consistently in and out, the people themselves will start seeing themselves differently.
That's true.
Wewe ukimjua,
You have to show them something different.
yes, outside their normal nini, because
Yes, yes,
Julian,
I agree.
the best thing they have is kwa TV. So what happened kwa Dandora is that when Kalamashaka were big, akina Nazizi wanakam, and I've said this story over and over. Nazizi wanakam, sijui nani Shiroji anakam, sijui nani wanakam, a different flow of fresh water inakam inatoka. Now you start seeing yourself different. Next time ukijua wageni wanakam, unaoga kidogo, unakuwa msafi kidogo. You normally uko tu mtaa tu uko
Unatulia tu.
Unatulia. But now inamaanisha wageni wakikuja unaoga. Na wageni come frequently, utaona pia ingo yangu imeraruka. Wacha next time ni change. So it becomes a mirror that the people start seeing themselves differently. So in the theory of change, the first process of theory of change let me use rejuvenation, where you have to have activities over and over, and that's what we used to do in Dandora. We have billionaires coming from Kinadira and Chandaria, Gilad, wanakam all the way, wanakam Dandora, wana hang out na wase. Na ni billionaire. So the people start seeing themselves differently. Wanaanza kuserve maji. Maybe kuna chain moja mbili zimelost. Hiyo tunajua, tuna understand ni part of the ecosystem lazima exist, unaona.
Yeah.
But the more you put fresh water in, dirty water will be removed. And then after hapo, now you go responsibility. And then after hapo, you go something else. So hiyo ndio theory yangu of change.
The more you put fresh water in, the dirty water gets diminished.
And that's what the DHC did. It existing there, kulikuwa tuna activity na flow. And then the people started seeing themselves differently.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been, and one of the reasons I call you a social commentator, it's actually a word that I first heard Jimna refer to you as. You talk about, in your music, you talk about life and situations. One of my favorite lyrics from your latest album is Waifa Kijam, Analala na jeans. But you've also used your platform, your lyrics, your social commentating for some activism. And so last year we saw the song Utawala come back to life, in a sense. You did Bahasha ya Ocampo, politicians on a bonga mo. That's why parliament kuna speak. So I want to ask you about that, your perspective on what your voice can do for a nation. Or for changing the mindset of a nation. Why do you speak about... Why are you an activist?
So my background is ni uko fulani Maumau na Kalamashaka. So Kalamashaka was specifically known for that.
Yeah.
They were known for social commentary. They were talking about tafsiri hii. Maisha kule dini mazi ninalia nikitumia MIC. Tafsiri. That song was a mainstream song.
Even Angalia Sa, wewe ni shujaa.
Alafu kuna ingine ile one of my favorite hip hop songs ever ni Mungu wangu niokoe, dhambi uzitoe, roho yangu na ipoe. Mungu wangu ni... And then wana rap vitu zingine hapo. And then kumake matters worse, mashifta. System ya pesa pombe siasa na wanawake.
System ya majambazi, maloya majambazi.
And then you hear the lyrics, the hit, the verses, the way they write on it. So me nikuwa in awe every time. So you imagine that's my background. So and then... And also I cannot talk about that because that's what I know. I can only talk about polisi bro wangu tumekaa base akakama akashikwa. I can only talk about that. I can only talk about nasikia njaa. That's the reality that I'm facing right now. No. So and tulikuwa na beef kitambo na akina Isa. Because akina Isa, we didn't make sense. Do unaita commercial because anaongea kuhusu tunaenda kani, tunaenda nini. But kweli hiyo ni reality yao. They don't know.
Reality yako. They've not experienced it.
So nadhani ni kama wana dismiss reality yako. Na kumbe hiyo ni reality yao. So we used to have, okay, we can argue about their skill level and hip hop level. That we can argue. hiyo tunaweza pigana but reality yao you can never deny because alikuwa ukiwa South Sea na kanini karibu
ni hapo tu
hiyo time so si ati hiyo ni reality yake wakiwa Gomba hiyo ni reality yao so we are talking about our reality but we felt like by talking about your reality you're dismissing our reality na kumbe it's not the case no so hiyo ndo background yangu so by the time I came I can't talk about anything else I'm trying to process life I'm trying to understand why is it that my parents can't afford a bicycle na neighbor na hiyo by the even Dandora kuna classes kuna watu haezi afford bicycle kuna watu kuna bicycle kuna watu wananyongwa na hizo bicycle so if that's the reality you talk about it your skill level with words to talk about reality and it so happened that that's the same thing majority of Kenyans are going through the only thing you only put those words into skillfully into a melody and into a song into a beat so that's why it resonated with everybody because that's what they're going through at that particular time but as far as background yangu Toxic Pressure I've talked about it many times Keishaka wako na full album inaitwa Ni Wakati mashifta hata uwezi ongea so
umenipeleka mbali sana I'll go look for that music today
bro I say what they've been talking about that album after album album
it's true you're very right
so mimi it just so happened that maybe based on that whatever and my skill level and the timing maybe the timing was right that I was in the season where 10 years ago I was the most popular maybe rapper at that time the way of words and melody that resonated with everybody that carried the times even Gadai but it's not things it's
not new it's something that it's been part of your experience and I experienced and you said something to me earlier you said we've had the same experience I'm just the one who's put it into words for you and that's what you've done for a lot of us you've done for this country and even for I dare say for part of a generational existence not just in this country that you've been able to put those experiences into words for us let's talk about masculinity you say vegans wanajua steak is high vacation white beach Hawaii zako zinakuwa chai za TI these are part of your Total Man lyrics
hata nimesahau lyrics zangu
kuna watu wangu wafanya research mbaya
vegans steak ni high
pia me who cry for crisis pia mimi najua mwanaume si
biceps
what is a total man to you mwanaume ni nani
kwangu so I've dismantled everything I have and learned about masculinity about being a man and you have to dismantle everything until we to accept kila kitu and then as from a human point of view first and then now you can build from there and from the human point of view inamaanisha you're aware of your emotions you're aware of the layers that make who you are your body your emotions your spirit your soul whatever it is you have to and then now ndio unaweka layer skill layer your space so all those layers you have to top each piece uifungue hivi kwanza and then over time interrogate each and every layer before you get into a perfect harmony so everything that I've ever I've been told about a man that I need to provide that I need to protect I dismantle all that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because let me give you an example. So, see, the first time tumekuwa I'm becoming a good rapper sasa. Saisi najulikana nini, na tesa nini. What's the first thing I did? I had to buy a car. A Starlet. The next thing what I did, I bought another car. ka 5 series BMW ilikuwa inanisumbua. And then I got a fresh car from Boni,
C-class.
a C-class.
Nakumbuka,
And then sasa after C-class nikasema acha niongeze ingine hapo. So everything I was just trying to first of all convince myself that I'm enough. That pia mimi naweza ongea mbele ya wanaume wengi wengine. Juu niko na gari.
Unaweza uko na gari ya maana.
Na hiyo time tunaambiwa ndio uonekane kawe ni brand, lazima show up na gari inakaa ile pesa unaitisha. That's what they used to tell us.
Kweli.
Unaona. And then mimi nikiingia kwa spaces, I'm a brilliant, I'm brilliant. So hiyo inakuimpress tayari without the car. Nikiingia, and that's kwa one of the songs kwa Exponential ni to masterpiece. Nikasema nikiroll na party I'm still Juliani. Nikiroll na Bugatti I'm still Juliani. So now nikaanza ku dismantle everything I've ever believed. And then unaingia kwa una get how biggie for bedroom. You have a girlfriend kwa hao. And then girlfriend nakuchuja nayo for a bedroom yako. Now that's what you've been working hard to show that you're a man, that's what you needed to be. You needed to have those cars.
Provider to be the...
Ndio sasa usikize kwa nyumba. Ndio unaweza gonga meza hivi watu wakusikiza. So you're always catching up to people's desires and perception of who you think.
Who a man is.
Who a man is and what you think you should be. So nikasema fuck all this, but nimesema fuck all this, nikatoa kila kitu. Because anza from scratch sasa. Anza from scratch. Because I'll always be catching up. I'll always need a bigger house. I'll always need a bigger car. I'll always be searching. So inamaanisha mimi
mwanaume is measured by how much bigger.
Yes, how much bigger you're in every area. Unaona? So nikasema mistake kwa big. Let me tone down everything. Now build hizo layouts and build kwa mind first na kwa heart. Then tunaweza ongea from there. If I want something bigger house, bigger whatever, maybe I can think about it. But from now, let me dismantle every perception that I ever felt that I need to be for other people, for me to feel naweza ongea mbele ya wanaume wengine. It turns out that if I'm bold enough to even come up with different ideas and experiment and do ideas, naweza ongea mbele ya wanaume wengine.
And that's all you need.
Yes. If I'm bold enough to say things, ukiongea ufala, mimi nikwambia bro, unaongea ufala, naweza ongea mbele ya wanaume wengine. If it turns out that I can eat 1 meal a day, if naweza ongea mbele ya wanaume wengine, niko na something kuongea. So now redefine everything else about what I assumed.
How has this shaped your... I know how it has shaped your work life. You work with what I now call... I found a word for it. It's called with or without you energy. You know, I can do this with or without you. I saw that someone was like, that's Juliani. Juliani is an operates with or without you energy. How has this reconstruction of masculinity for you, how has it affected your romantic relationships?
Yeah, it may affect kusema ukweli. Because sasa na kuna tubembelezani sana. And I was questioning that also. So I'm not saying that that's the ideal way of looking at things, that unabembelezana. But whatever is going on in your life, I think that's your problem. I sort kwanza, I'll have to talk. That has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
But what's the purpose of us then doing life together?
We're not supposed to do life together, man. I'm supposed to be a witness of your life.
Say more.
I'm just supposed to be a witness.
So we're not doing life together.
Nimekuja for how long?
15 years, at least.
Do I know what you do every day?
No.
But every time tunamit hapa nika tulikuwa jana.
And we start from we pick up from.
And the same relationship I had with Bob, the same relationship I have with Sam, the same relationship I have with Bonnie, the same relationship with people. Let me be a witness in your life. Allow me to be in the front row of your life. Nikwe kwa audience. I will not say he play ilikuwa ya ufala. Nani nakumbuka kuna siku Kanji ati alikuwa na the first time alikam from Milele alikam Nairobi. Mlikuwa hapo. So anapenda kupiga story sana wakimit na Pastor M. Na kumganga story na cheka sana that alisema walikam yani si wametoka Milele wametoka na Master Hero. Wana perform and make and then yani bro yani wanachafua kwa stage and then after show yes Mr. Pastor M akakama kaambia Kanji na hiyo piano and I'm paraphrasing maybe naisema joke vibaya na hiyo piano umegonga poa sana. So he didn't say how the show was good. Alifocus na show ilikuwa mbaya. But hakufocus na show ilikuwa mbaya. Ama mli overdo. Ilikuwa ni bro unagonga hiyo kitu.
Hapo kwa kids mko kaima
bro unagonga hiyo kitu sana. So I'm supposed to be a witness bro because we all consistently grow into and out of things. Thoughts, ideas, perceptions. We grow into and out. So if I say and warembo wanapenda kusema hii sana you used to then wewe unaishi yesterday kwanza si ndio? No, that's who I am now. I'm a different person. Kesho I'll be a different person and I'm allowing you to be the same also,
to evolve as well
as a witness. Let me be a witness. Let me go through the motions nikiona play. The only difference is that umenipatia front row na kuona hapo daily. That's the only difference. But I'm just a witness. So whatever is going on in your life, unless you invite me kwa stage when unaweza isema na tuko na audience hapa kujeni upanda unless you allow me that. And doesn't mean you are avoidant or whatever. It just means that now you start appreciating the of a human being. You start appreciating the beauty of a human being. And even your mistakes become something funny. Kitu unaweza cheka.
And there's not too much pressure on each other.
Yes, una appreciate at that particular moment. You're so present that this person becomes an experience. Hakuna ulinifanyia this is good, this is bad. They become an experience. And if they want you to come close, so and this the final thing around your conversation is that if you every day in your mind and you have to talk to yourself to become literally you're programming yourself every day. Jana usiku before I sleep, there's two things I do. I recite a scripture in my mind 10 times, 2 scriptures, and then take up a feeling of gratitude and feeling of everything iko sawa. I have everything I need at this particular time. I do that usiku kabla nilale na early morning when I wake up before I do anything.
In fact, last year when we were in Turkana, you were telling me about your morning routine and your meditation. Talk to me about that a bit.
So if I do the scripture, sahi niko Ephesians 3:5-6 I think. Na niko Deuteronomy 31:8 I think. Na Deuteronomy nasema the Lord himself will lead you and be with you. He will not fail you or abandon you. So do not lose courage or be afraid. So I say that to myself. Do not reprogram every day. I have to reprogram myself. So if I'm doing this to myself every day, so you expect me to be the same person. Namansha, I'm reprogramming what I'm going to be tomorrow, the next moment. Anyway, so routine yang, I have to do the prayer. I have to do the feeling of gratitude and the feeling of everything I have, everything I need. You're feeling, just feel it in your body, every faculty of your body, for as long as you can take it. Wake up. I do my stretches. Do exercise. Mwanaume lazima afanye push-ups by the kama hata lazima mwanaume afanye push-ups hata kama ni moja a day. Unaona? Do 1 hour of specific exercises that I have, and then do yoga, and now do meditation. Now all that takes only 2 hours. So it's not that intense, but ile siku sina kitu kufanya asubuhi ama sina nini, I can easily meditate for 2 hours because it feels very nice if you're empty kabisa, like literally empty. and you allow the world and God to whisper in your ear and stuff like that, because kwa mind yetu brain yako ilalangi always iko tu na inakwambia kenye unafaa kufanya. So if you allow yourself to listen to what God anakuambia, I think life yangu inakuwa better, quality ya life yangu ni better sana na nikijisikia juu brain yangu si trust, unaona. So that's how I do it for the longest.
Wow, you know, you've said, you're saying some things very casually that are very important or very deep. One of the things you've said is about programming yourself. And we were talking earlier about the I am statements. And it was in the context of traveling light. But we were talking about I am statements. Tell me what has made you get into this space of programming yourself? Like what was the catalyst for it?
Because I like the version God anasema I am than E version I think I am. Nikisoma scripture alafu when scripture anasema my burden is light and my yoke is it makes sense because huyu jamaa anasema usitense ndakusort.
The burden is easy and my yoke is light.
And then I think in Ephesians, hiyo ndio anasema trust in the Lord with all your heart
and lean not on your own understanding.
In everything you do, submit to him or acknowledge him, and he'll put everything straight.
Direct your path, yeah.
So huyu jamaa anakuambia consistently ndakusort. Alafu wewe unajidai unazajisort. Kwa dunia imekuwa hapo for a billion of years, wewe unajifanya mjuaje. And your brain only repeats what it knew, not what it knows or what it didn't know. Your brain never tells you anything new.
It repeats what it already knows.
Yes, and it only minimum. Your brain only repeats things. It doesn't tell you. Skill ni tofauti. Kukuwa na skill ni tofauti. When you want to apply a skill, na skill to acquire is just repetition. Ukiweka kwa hii kamera hapa consistently utajua nini. So hiyo ni top of, hiyo ni iko register. So hiyo si issue. Hii iko stored hapa kwa brain. So skill haiko kwa brain. So whatever thought is always in your mind is always a reminder of a past event or a current thing that you're going through, but it's never present. So hakuna ya tumpia brain inakwambia. That's why I don't trust my brain. No. So reprogramming means you have to speak to your spirit, and your spirit has to mind everything in your body who's boss. And I prefer scripture as a preference because scripture, the way inaongea about me and who I am, I prefer that version of siyesema ati I'm enough, not I don't know what it means to be enough. No. So I rather anchor. I don't need to believe in Christianity. I don't need to believe whatever. I just need to anchor into those words because those words it's a different mirror of who I am.
Okay. You're one of the most interesting people I know. And I love having conversations with you. I think we can go into many concepts, but in front of us, I have some cards. One of the things I've enjoyed doing lately is using conversation cards. And in my work now, and in a lot of, when I'm forming relationships, I've been, using conversation cards to prompt just conversations. I want us to use a few of them. We don't have a lot of time, but they're color-coded for different categories. Someone else has curated the questions. So I want you to pick one, any card, answer the question, and then I will also answer the same question, and I'll do the same. We'll do a couple of rounds and see what happens.
If you have to live the same day for the rest of your life, which day will you choose? Maybe spending time with my daughter and my son. Maybe that's the most, if I was to go back, but I'm always present.
Let's talk about your daughter for a second. You've mentioned, your children, but you've mentioned your daughter a few times, even in your music. What do you see yourself as in the role? How do you see your father role? What's your philosophy as a father?
Hakuna kitu hapo mwanaume anajidai. The truth is, bro, and I was observing, maybe my daughter didn't spend as much time in her early years. She just turned 10. But I was looking at my son, and everything he knows, alijifunza. From walking, mama yake alikuwa anambaya sijui zile mavitu sijui za kunini.
Walker.
Siku moja anaamka tu peke yake
Anatembea.
eating the same everything. So we always tuko na high self importance sana about being a parent. The only thing you can do of course is create your
Safety.
but everything that that iko DNA yake kufanya, anything that they need to do, from walking to talking, but say baba. I say mi siku moja naamka nasema watu tu random hapo
Mama.
alisema baba but alisema wadata sio hizo because sensa zake ni God ameweka, yani iko so our role is so that we always tuko na self importance sana about what we think fatherhood and motherhood is. I understand of course the survival things. There's a survival where you have to eat whatever, but is beyond that, yani hizo vitu zingine hakuna.
I really like my children. I think of myself as a safety net. So that ukiwa na safety flani, kama like you were saying in relationships, if you feel seen, if you feel safe, then you can be the best version of yourself. And so sometimes I see myself as a parent like that if I give my children this, like, you don't need to prove yourself to me. You give them a safety net and they can be the best version of themselves.
Can I surprise you kidogo?
Yes.
And I was doing this about there's a book I was trying to write and it's a masterpiece.
I was going to ask you when you're writing a book, when you're releasing a book.
Nilikuwa nitoa album ya masterpiece, nilikuwa nataka kuandika, nilijichocha kuna maparagraph sasa imedoze tu kwa Google Drive. And then I realized I chose my authorities, my authority, there's a name for it, authority figures. My parents were not my authority figures from the word go. I'm a safety. I found in somewhere else. There might be later. They were later. But I realized as a young person, when I was trying to be rebellious and finding my space, everything else that was pastor alikuwa enemy, karao alikuwa enemy. Everybody that was set with society to be my safety net from my father, ilikuwa nilikuwa na do opposite. Ulikuwa najibu hiyo if you
have to relive the same day for the rest of your life, which day would you choose? The same day. I think I'd have to agree with you. It would have to be with my children. There's something about how those children love me as well that is so unconditional. So one of the things my kids and I like to do is cook together. And we've spent a lot of time in the kitchen cooking. If I could relive the same day, it would be a day in the kitchen cooking with my children.
Mimi naona ni kama mimi ni mnyonyaji, so when I'm with my kids na nyonya, mimi ndo nanyonya energy because they don't even need me in that space.
I feel the same now.
I need them more than the other way around.
I feel the same. They really validate me.
Ni mimi ndio.
If my kids say I'm funny, if they don't think I'm funny, okay, that one I insist. I'm there to embarrass them now. Okay, so I'll take. Would you rather always have gas or always have bad breath? What would you rather? I would rather always have gas than bad breath.
You at least gas unaweza jifiche.
Unaweza jaribu kujificha maze. Hii bad breath huwezi ongea na mtu.
Huwezi kutoka. Ni jiko sawa. But umoja zote zinatoka wapi? Even bad breath doesn't come from
the mouth.
Just mouth and not brushing.
The stomach.
Come from the stomach. Zote does not come from the stomach. So if you sort out your gut, uko tu sawa. And I'm really good at that.
How have you maintained your leanness all your life?
Sikuli.
Starvation.
Everybody claims just 1 meal a day, don't eat before 10, I'm 11, and don't eat late. And if you eat sana, 1 meal a day. Don't eat. Because literally food takes 48 hours, even more, to get into your blood system by the time umeikula. So even ukikula sahi, venye wasema usema hii nasikia njaa nataka energy. Hiyo food will show up 48 hours later. So the energy that tunatumia sahi ni ya jana. And your energy doesn't come from food entirely. It comes from your breath. It comes from everything else. It comes from, and it's interesting how the more energy you use, the more it generates. Ni kama motor. Unaona? So it doesn't make sense that wanasemanga. And even if you eat, I'm so passionate about it. So actually when you eat, to break down the food, particular kind of food, it takes more energy than actually give you. So watu wasemangi, watu wasemati unajua, no, you're actually using more energy than creating. Another thing you can do is, if you don't think because your brain nachukua 30% of your energy. Food, so if you can put your on flight mode, brain yako on flight mode, you'll be the luckiest person. So even though me would do so, me under flight mode, nazaka hapa ndani niko flight mode.
Your meditation.
Niko meditation. So I'm not using energy. So I have so much energy, even when I don't eat, bro, nazaka hapa the whole day na naruka too, because I have so much energy. Because I'm reserving.
Yeah, and one of the things that is characteristic of you, especially when you're performing, is your energy. It's a very high. I don't know how much time you spend between the stage and the air and the air above your stage.
There's a guy who wanted to measure that actually. We wanted to do an experiment to measure.
Because you're very high energy. I love that about you. Maybe you should teach me something about my gut.
But you may change, bro.
Yeah, you may change. I'm working on it.
Umechange.
I'm working on it, man.
Umekuwa mlighter, umekuwa na manibizi meisha.
Nimechange a lot.
So you've started.
Yeah, so I've changed a lot of what I eat, when I eat as well. A few other things I've done, but yeah, it's I'm traveling light.
It makes sense.
Let's do one last round and then.
Inaonekana.
You do one, I'll do one.
Color.
What color is that? Baby blue.
Baby blue. What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you during a date? Na ya kitambo, but hili nakumbuka nilikuwa na Brenda the first time. Tulikuwa Junction. Alikuwa na mabesi zake hapo alafu yeye. So what happened is that venye wasona order. She ordered venye unasema order juice. So I ordered juice. But I think because their friends got there early, I ordered juice mbili. And then maybe I don't know if the friend left, but juice mbili. Walikuwa hapo. So juice ziletwa, mimi nadhani ameniordia pia juice. Juo. And me juice ikakambia mimi nikaikuwa nikaanza kuikunywa na kumbania.
Ni wenyewe.
Kwa aibu baadaye anyway, so that's the most embarrassing, but sipakanangi date me.
Last year I lost a friend at the beginning of the year, who was the first person to ever take me to Java. Tulikuwa Desta. Kanipeleka Java Adams. Buddha. Mingia Java. So the reason she was taking me to Java was because I had discovered my love for cake. And Java had very good Black Forest, and then they had this Death by Chocolate. And she wanted me to experience Death by Chocolate. So that's why she was taking me to Java. So tukaenda Java mazi. So nikapatiwa menu. Buddha sikuwa najua kahawa ina majina mob hizi mazi. Coffee had so many names. So nikaangalia hizi majina zote za coffee, and I don't know them. To be honest, I don't know them. I mean, we were not even coffee drinkers at home. We take tea, drinking chocolate, but coffee, it's either black or white.
I'm a number one.
Kahawa number one. So it's either black or white coffee. So Buddha mimi nikaitisha nini? Espresso. So I asked for an espresso. She came, are you sure? I go, yeah, I'm sure I want an espresso. Espresso can come. first the cup is this small. I'm like, where is the rest of this coffee? And then I tasted it. It was the most bitter thing I have ever had. Hey, I had to just be authentic. I say, call the waiter, please bring another cup and some milk. Hapo nikajitengenezea kalate kangu.
Ulikuwa mjanja. Mimi unanikumbusha, at least ulikuwa mjanja, ulikuwa na mimi nakumbuka nilipatanga ndege. So mmoja wao alitanga before KQ akipeana vitu kwa ndege actually Jambo Jet. And then wanakuletea options za juo.
Yeah.
Sasa nikaona sijui tomato something. Sijui kwa tomato gani.
Tomato juice.
Nikaona hizi jai taste na ka rangi na ka imet.
Interesting, ni red.
Bro, nilianza kitu nilikuwa na taste vibaya. Nilikuwa taste ka hangover.
It's actually very good for hangovers.
Sindio?
Man,
nilikuwa na taste.
hangovers.
Anyways, yeah.
Let me do the last one and then you give us a parting shot. Oh, this one is interesting. What is one family tradition you would like to carry on in the future? I think, like I said it, my children and I, we cook. We cook a lot. And one day I'll tell a story, but okay, let me tell you. So, I'm divorced. And so, tukona fanya some weekends wakona mimi, some weekends wakona madhao. So, we used to do date nights on Friday. And what the date nights were the children, I take them out, and it started with their mom, and I thought it was a really good tradition. Take them out, go to a place, have a date. So go to a restaurant, have a date, and then eat what they'd like. Sometimes it would be an activity, go to a movie, go bowling, blah, blah, blah. Lakini, nikasota. I didn't have money to take them out for a date. And so the next best thing for me was, let me try and recreate that restaurant experience at home. And so we started cooking at home for date nights. And a few things happened. One, my children, I think, in some ways discovered their passion for cooking. And they've both become incredible cooks. But number two, we started making meals at home that were better than the restaurants.
Yeah, of course.
So, sasa maze, hata nikisema, nikipata do nasema, we go out and say, no, let's cook and let's...
buy my ingredients.
Yeah, we buy the ingredients we make at home. So that bonding around food and cooking especially, and expressing creativity that way, that's a family tradition I'd like to carry in the future. So that's it.
I mean, got 2 instances for each of my kids, but so Mimi, I consider myself a bare minimum nigga, like meaning bare minimum, like meaning still. You can see it in our dress. I have a flair of one, but I'm like I go out of my way to be basic, like bare minimum. And when I was in Kilifi, to see my daughter, like I enjoyed. Like my daughter asked me, we took a walk. Na ajai nilikatia man. Na mmoja sasa nao mimi nikiwa hizo ma area niko mguu tupu, niko ndani ya short. Na navaa t-shirt tu juu sitaki aibu. Ama sitaki tu ni make other people uncomfortable. Otherwise ningekuwa natembea na kifua tupu yani. So we take a long walk yani with my daughter. And we didn't need to pick stories. No, tunaongea hapa na juju, tunatembea, tunaongea. And the same way tukarudi. And I felt like my bare minimumness may transfer. And because she enjoyed, because I enjoy basic. If you can derive the most amazing moments from basicness. Anyway, so that's the first with my daughter. The second thing in my son, birthday yangu, so when I was turning 40. And again, my bare basicness, I don't do birthday parties. So nikakaa kwa hao, tulikuwa kwa hao peke yetu. And then it so happened that kunaonyesha. Na mimi I said one of the things I'm going to do when I turn 40, I'm going to try to meditate in the rain. So nimekaa hapo najifanya meditate. And then sijui nini li happen. Somehow, Sanonga kakam when I'm in the rain, and he loved the rain. Anapenda rain sana. Bro, akanijoin hapo tukanini. So hata instead of meditating as you kukaa hapo monkish, tukaanza kucheza kwa rain, tukakaa madhaki haku around. So ni poa. Tulichafua.
Nilikuwa nashinda ulisurvive hiyo.
Madhaki hakuwa, so tumebaki solo, tumebaki peke yetu. We played in the rain, man. And every time kuna rain, anataka tu toka. So those bare minimum basic finding pleasure in the mundane. Hizo vitu. Like if I can transfer that to my kids and we enjoy those kind of like kutembea, the most mundane things, I think if I want, that's what I would like to carry.
I have one random question. Very random. What do you think of artificial intelligence, the world of AI that we're going into? Very random.
Really random. Many throw off. Again, first of all, there's nothing new. It's not new the way, it's just a different version, different, faster, whatever technology, but it's not new as such. But as far as human beings, they'll find out what they're trying to look for. They'll find out. Because we are so keen in finding ourselves that we are losing ourselves in the same time. We are going out of our way. Science, everything came because we were trying to discover more about ourselves, what's inside our brain, what's outside us, we wanted to know more. But the more we know, the more we're going to lose ourselves, and the less we'll know even in the first place. And we'll delegate our thoughts and everything in other people, other things, that will not be able to take it back for box. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing, but exactly what we think we're trying to get, we'll lose. We are trying to get control. We are trying to do this, we'll lose all that.
Julian, you're really one of the most interesting people I know. How do you want to be remembered? And I want you to use this as your parting shot.
So, I've thought about this, because I don't want, like I was thinking about this sana. Like even when we talk about legacy, nini, see, that the best rappers. And the best way I can explain is, binadamu ni watu bure sana kwanza, unaona? So I feel like I don't want to exist in anybody's brain that way. No, I don't want to. Because I don't want to explain it. Even now, like I don't want to exist in people. I enjoy that people know my face and for what I do, but I don't want to exist in people's brain because, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
But I feel ni kama unaweka value ya tao kwa 100 bob. That's what human beings ni 100 bob wana behave nika ni tao. Ni 100 bob, bro. Ni 100 shillings. So ni tao ikiwa US. Tao ya Kenya ikiwa US ni 2 bob ama 10 bob.
10 bob.
So
$10.
So I don't know how to explain your kitu, but I don't want to be remembered. If anything, and I said this before, if I was able, and that's why we travel light, if I was able, my existence, hakuna trace ya existence yangu, ever, I'll be so happy. So I'm saying, the older I get, I want to have less and less clothes, less and less belongings. Like I want to die, I would love to die empty and with nothing. Because think about it, by the time ulizaliwa, bro, mpaka sahi, the things, nguo zile ulikuwa nao tangu kwa mtoi, my necklaces, my vitabu, my thoughts, all those accumulated, ziko wapi sahi? Ziko somewhere, as they disappear. See your energy that it can be transferred or restored. Those things are still there somewhere. So kuna evidence of you everywhere, in people's minds, on ground, online, evidence of you. And we say that from a place of we think it's a good thing. In my opinion, I don't think it's a good thing. Because we are supposed to be
Kithanos.
Nafatuku. And that's the most beautiful thing a human being human being. So I don't know how to explain it. And this is the last thing, and we were talking about your story, attention and meaning. Like everything, bro, the first time, by the time ni by C class, umejua ni meaning ngapi nilekako gari. Energy. Because once you put attention, and energy, and meaning, it becomes an altar. It becomes an altar. It becomes a worship, something you're worshiping. That's why God akunapigana na sisi daily. Because we are putting those three things in everything we come across.
Attention, energy and meaning. It becomes an altar.
It becomes an altar. It becomes an altar. It becomes an identity. And then now you have to protect it. You have to fight for it every day. That's what we are fighting every day. We are Israelis. We are white people. We are black people. We are traditionalists. We are Kikuyus. We are Luos. We are feminists. Now you have to protect it because you put attention, energy, and meaning. And yet, kuna ability that if it's nothing, then you get to experience its fullness. That's why unaweza kunywa. If I drink tea, nilikuwa napenda chai sana na sukari, bro. Nikarealize I'm not experiencing the tea, I'm experiencing the sugar. Si wata tu basi ulambe sukari basi na mata yako ingia yani, no, like it doesn't. Think about it when you take coffee and sugar, because you never do the best balance anyway. So where's you up? But if I experience coffee in its fullness, I'm experiencing coffee na all its impurities. Now hizo impurities I haven't added, it's just equal. But if I add sugar, I'm the one adding impurity, and it means it's get. So if we go back to your conversation here, safety, human beings and conditionals, you need go back to those things. If I'm giving you my attention and energy and meaning, then it becomes an altar. But if I'm able to do that at this particular moment, and then after Apple converting to put somewhere else,
something else,
then it becomes an experience. Becomes that I'm experiencing this human being at this particular moment.
I'm present. I'm here.
Exactly. So hiyo ndio kitu ningependa. And everything we ever put those things in has no value, because hizo vitu when ulikuwa primary school, the newest shoe ndio wende utese kwa class had meaning. Ulikuwa na attention yako, ulikuwa na energy yako, and then it stopped being your first girlfriend ukimkatia.
It was an altar.
It was an altar. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but being aware that it is at that particular moment, and then allow it to leave when it leaves. Hiyo ndio mimi nasema, sisemi ati
you don't hold on to it. You don't make it a monument.
Yes, once you put a monument on it, you want to protect it, and then you'll never grow outside it.
And you form an identity around it.
Anyway, so hiyo ni story nyingine.
Mazee ni mdivu, hata siwezi kupata. Mazee nakutafuta huku chini, mazee sikuoni uko deep, bro.
Sasa ndio jamaa hizo mashetani zako peleka huko.
Juliani, thank you so much, man.
Kuna noma anytime. Unajua ni easy kuongea naye.
I actually enjoy talking to you. It's thought-provoking, expands my mind. I pray that this next phase of your life, we're in our 40s now, and you know, that it gives you more meaning. It gives you fun. Gives you meaning, I mean fulfillment and freedom. Those are my wishes for you.
Freedom is a big one.
Freedom is a big one. Thank you.
Bless, man.